Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, but today I'm doing a quick video on a guitar I've been eyeing up for a few years now. Essentially, being a lefty, Fender do not make regular production models of Jaguars. You just cannot get one unless they do a limited Japanese run, and even then they're in short supply and they're really hard to get hold of. But what they do is this guy. The Kurt Cobain signature Fender Jaguar, based on Kurt's guitar from the 90s. If you've seen Nirvana, their legendary set at the Reading Festival in the 90s, this is the guitar that Kurt comes on stage with, and it's really the sound of Nirvana, big, fat, full distortion. They are expensive to buy them new, and they're also made in Mexico, and for a regular Mexican instrument, you would not expect to pay as much as they ask for these. It does come with a Fender hard case and some Cobain literature, and it is completely modded to Kurt's exact guitar. So you've got the DiMarzio super distortion humbuckers, you've got a whole different switching mechanism, it's a different neck. I mean, it's pretty much a replica from Kurt's kind of Frankenstein Jag. But again, they are expensive new. Luckily I found this one at half price. I'd cleared out some other guitar gear, had some money in a fund, and decided to go for it. And I'm glad I did. There are loads of videos on YouTube over how these things sound, but I couldn't find much at all on just the general quality of these guitars. So I thought, right, I'll do a quick video on my initial thoughts for those who are basically thinking the same thing as me. Getting out of the box, it looks stunning. It's a great looking guitar. It's the guitar that Kurt would have played. So if you're a Nirvana fan, this is the one to go for. But again, I know Kurt didn't really take care of his guitars. He wanted to play cheap, nasty guitars, thrash them around. But when Fender are asking for a lot of money, you expect a good, well-finished guitar. Now again, I paid half price for this. I wasn't that fussed because I can get it sorted out. But when I got it out of the box, the first thing that hit me was the frets on this thing. Every single fret extends over the binding on the edge of the neck. You can't really see it on the camera, but the frets all the way down kind of go off the edge of the binding, which is really annoying. I mean, if you listen to the noise of my hands on here, hear that kind of scratching sound? That's the frets. As an equivalent, if I take my Gibson SG, listen to this noise. Nothing, because these frets are finished perfectly. The binding kind of goes around the frets almost form part of the binding. That is how you do good binding. Fender, what you've done on this one is really poor. It's going to have to be sorted out because it is hard to play. So that's the fret edges. Again, for what they asked for these guitars new, you would not expect it to come up from the factory like that. If I'd have bought it brand new, this would have gone straight back. Second thing is, again, the binding itself. It just feels cheap and nasty. No one's paid great attention to it. It's messy as you go down the fretboard, and it's nothing like the binding on my Gibson SG. So that's the frets, the binding. You've then got the nut. So again, annoyingly, the way it's been cut, this low E string feels like it is too far down that way, going down the guitar. Feels like there's too much of a gap at the top. So when you try and use your thumb for chords, it feels like you're really stretching to get your thumb over there. And again, compared to pretty much every other guitar I've got, I don't have that problem. When I compared it to my Strats, it feels like there's a good couple of millimeters difference in terms of where that string sits on the fretboard. And again, the nut itself is plastic, not bone, so it is a cheaper nut. And if I give you another video of that nut itself, you'll see, well, it's hard to see on there, but the low E string is just too far across. So that needs sorting. Third thing, which is, well, it's good and bad. You've got these three controls down here, which is a great idea. 2 volumes and a tone, I think. But again, I think originally there were only 2 on these guitars, so they've squeezed a third one in, you can't really get your finger in there to turn the knobs. So it's, yeah, good idea, but practically you just can't really use them. Having said all that, actually I forgot as well, the fretboard itself is really, really dry. It feels like when you get like a cheap Squire guitar from 10 years ago, like the kind of Affinity ones where they don't really pay much attention to the fretboard. This feels just like that. It's really, really dry. It needs treating, which again is, compared to Fenders I bought recently, this just feels sub quality. Playing the guitar itself, it does sound great. The pickups are really thick and full, and actually the action on the neck is pretty good. The frets themselves, apart from the crappy edges, are okay. The tuners are really, really good. It's got these Goto tuners that are on the back of the headstock that Kurt would have put on his. And I think once I get it reset up, it will be a great guitar. It looks great. Apart from the frets, it does feel good, sounds good, but quality-wise, again, if I'd have bought this new, it would have gone straight back. I can't imagine anybody in a shop playing this and taking it home. It's far, far too scratchy. And that could be, well, it's made in a Mexico factory, not in the US. But even then, they don't make that many of these. It's a left-handed model. So it can't be that it's just overly mass-produced, because it's not. So for whatever reason, it's just been rushed through, hasn't really been QA properly, and it's come out with these dreadful frets. I mean, your fingers almost get stuck, your skin gets snagged as you go up the neck. The rest of the guitar though, again, the tuners are good, the switches are good quality, the electronics feel pretty stable, even the bridge is pretty good, the floating, the tremolo and bridge. The body is nice, it will be a nice guitar. I'm just annoyed that it's gone out of the factory with this really substandard neck. So yeah, I didn't want to do a video on playing these guitars, because again, there are loads of guitars on YouTube for people showing you how to, or what a Cobain Jag sounds like, but I couldn't find many kind of explaining what it actually feels like and what the quality's like, because it's basically priced at Fender USA level, but it's made in Fender Mexico, and where typically things are half the price. So because I did pay half the price for this, I'm not too fussed. I will get it reset up and sorted out, but one to look out for, if you're going to buy one of these new, try and find one in store and play it before you bring it home, because it may be that I've just got one from a bad batch, but if one's bad, chances are there could be plenty others out there. So I'd say, yeah, if you want one, they do sound great, they look great. This one will be fantastic once it's been set up, but it's just annoying that it's come out the shop with these just really bad finishing options on the guitar, which, yeah, you wouldn't think these days Fender would do that. Looking at the tags for this one, it was made in 2021. You expect better from Fender, so yeah, just look out, guys. And that's it really. Again, this is a left-handed Cobain Jaguar. It really does that Nirvana sound well, and being a lefty, I think this is one of the only signature guitars you can get for a left-hander that is from an actual left-handed guitarist. So again, I was a huge Nirvana fan. Kurt's a lefty, I'm a lefty. I was always going to get one of these eventually. I'm glad I've got one at half the price, but it needs some work. So Fender, sort yourselves out. Yeah, until next time, guys, thanks for watching.